This past week, Microsoft paid $16.3 million to Mistral AI for access to their new model, Mistral Large. Is this a competitor to GPT-4? We'll answer this and more questions in today's video.
Mistral AI is one of the dominant players in the open source AI industry. About a year ago, Meta was one of the sole competitors in this industry. But then Mistral jumped in. Arthur Mensch, who used to be a DeepMind employee, founded Mistral AI. Mistral is ran out of Paris. This makes them one of the biggest tech companies in all of Europe. Alongside his team of ex-Meta and ex-OpenAI employees, Mensch is really trying to push this open source initiative and take it as far as they possibly can.
In the past year, they've created many open source models. So this includes Mistral Small, this includes Mistral 7B, which is what Dolphin and Samantha models are built on. They've built Mistral 8x7B, which is said to be a GPT 3.5 competitor. And they also have Mistral Medium, which is currently available only through API use. And this leads us perfectly actually into the announcement that happened this recent week.
Yes, there was big news this week, and that's Mistral Large. Mistral Large is a huge factor in the AI industry, and it's causing waves. As you can see by the chart, Mistral Large is second in common sense and reasoning, and it's just behind GPT-4. This is absolutely massive when thinking about this company starting just under a year ago.
In addition to beating out Meta's Llama and Google's Gemini Pro and Anthropic's Claude 2 by these benchmarks, they also stand out in the way that they're native to many different languages besides English. This includes French, German, Spanish, and Italian.
What makes this so applicable is that Mistral AI just announced LeChat, which is their ChatGPT competitor, which is a user interface where people can use Mistral Large and Mistral Next as well as Mistral Small. And then also, of course, all of these languages are available on LeChat.
Okay, so where else is Mistral Large being used? It's being used on their native platform, La Plateforme, if I try to say it in a French accent like an ignorant American. But it's also being used on Azure, which is the idea behind this Microsoft deal. So Microsoft paid $16.3 million for a minority stake in Mistral AI. This also gave them access to use Mistral Large within their native apps, which is Azure.
Yeah, and this is big for a couple reasons. Microsoft is now expanding not just in America, but now they have AI in Europe, which there's really no other company that has that. It also is important because it diversifies Microsoft's AI portfolio in general. It gives them much more options, not just OpenAI, but now they also have Mistral in their loadout.
So taking a look at the announcement on the actual Azure website, Microsoft's partnership with Mistral AI is focused on three core areas. So the first is supercomputing infrastructure. So the idea behind that is all tech companies are computing for the best infrastructure for creating these models and scaling and training them. This is why NVIDIA is exploding right now. The second is scale to market. So we talked about how they're diversifying their portfolio. It's these models as a service, this MaaS. Before they just had OpenAI, now they have Mistral. And then it's just further research and development. Mistral was reaching the limit of what they could do with their limited resources, and Microsoft's vast resources are going to enable the company to propel itself forward and do much better things within the AI industry.
What's going on with Mistral AI reminds me a lot about what happened with OpenAI. So back when OpenAI was by themselves, they realized that they couldn't go very far without much funding. We actually have a video coming out soon on OpenAI telling about the story about how they got from where they were to where they are now. But long story short, they needed Microsoft to be able to get to where they are today. Now, the issue with that is that OpenAI is now one of the most closed off companies or AI players in the industry. Coming from where they were and how they started, their main goal was to be as open as possible and better the world. Mistral had those same intentions, and what could be scary is that they're now working with Microsoft and kind of following a similar path that OpenAI did.
The thing to note with this, though, is that Microsoft has been playing a pivotal role in Mistral since November of last year, either through investment or resources. And Mistral has been able to stay aligned with their current ideals of being an open sourced company that betters the world. And Microsoft is playing along with that. They want them to continue making these open source models, and they want to help them in doing that. Microsoft now has OpenAI's closed models as, part of their ownership. So now it makes more sense to diversify by choosing these open source models like Mistral is providing. So it's a fantastic solution for both Microsoft to get into the open source space and for Mistral to continue doing what they're doing. Because the thing about it is training these models requires so much compute power, so much money, and you have to have some sort of business model in order to keep the show going. So this is what Mistral is doing, partnering with Microsoft. They're going to be able to have a lot more resources, a lot more funds to build better open source models for all of us.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting space coming up into the next couple of years. Let's hope that Mistral is able to keep those core tenets of being that open source company, even though they're now even more aligned with Microsoft. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, so we're excited to keep on looking at new news in the AI industry. Like Alex said, we have a video coming out very soon about OpenAI, their history, why their models are so closed right now, how that looks in the future even. So we're really excited for that one to come out. We really appreciate you watching this. This was, quick to the point about what's happening with Mistral just because it's current and we wanted to make a video as quick as possible. Is there anything else you want to add, Alex?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you guys have any further comments, any predictions of what could happen with Mistral and Microsoft, even how the relationship between OpenAI and Microsoft will be going forward, we'd love to hear it. We want to see you guys in the comments. And thanks for going on this journey with us. We're really excited to post that OpenAI video. It's going to be a fun one. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here. All right, so we're going to end it off as we always do. So what is onces plus onces?
Yep, that's going to be
deuces.